Hello everyone, this is Aztec and this is the CSC. Well, the markets really have not been forgiving lately, and I just want to give you guys some insight on how I'm thinking, what I'm doing in this market. So if you find that interesting, go ahead and throw me a like, subscribe, and keep looking. So basically, market's pretty red. It's been crazy lately, and it's definitely due to manipulation of the market. We're still sitting at that 6K area, so I'm happy. I don't feel like my theory will be disproved unless we go below 5,750. Then we'll make a lower low. And of course, I would expect to see lower at that point. But still, at this point, I'm not thinking that we're going to see 4K. My my main theory is that with Bitcoin being mined, the cost to mine it, it's around the 6K level. So I feel like because this is a highly manipulated market, the miners will have a lot to say and do, and try to manipulate as much as possible to keep this market above 6K. Now they can fail, so it's very possible for us to see a 4K Bitcoin, but I think that they will try to fight it. And even from a market cycle standpoint, after capitulation and all of that, the market on the cheat sheet goes sideways. So, well, the one thing no one else is talking about is that this market needs to go sideways for a while before we actually see a new market cycle start. So, a lot of people are like saying, "Oh, well, 4K." I mean, you can't just always just go down and then it just automatically starts a new market cycle. So, the sideways action is what I'm thinking we should be seeing now, because I feel like we've already hit some of the worst parts of the market cycle. Now, I could be wrong, and everything I'm talking to you about today, guys, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just someone that's been in the market for a long time, have ties to some very big wells, and I just telling you what I think. But besides that, I mean, what am I doing in this market? I'm definitely not holding altcoins. I'm in Bitcoin. I'm in Tether. I have cash that I've after before everything went to crap. I sold. I sold in profit for everything. Except for my Bitcoin, a large portion of it, was just sold at cost. I didn't really make anything at that time because it was dropping. This is about, a week ago or something, when everything really started falling heavily. So what am I doing now? I'm just looking for the unicorn, because as my group has dubbed me, the AKA unicorn hunter, I'm looking for that unicorn that's going to make you 50 times, 100 times returns. And with everything as low as it's going, with these alts going as low as it's going, there's definitely going to be coins that are going to give you 50 times and 100 times returns in the upcoming bull market. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm doing research, but I'm also looking for just really solid projects that I can put, a good amount of money into, and it's just a for sure. It's just a for sure. I'm for sure going to make return on it, at least 10 times or something like that. So to kind of give you an idea of what I'm looking at and what that means to me, I'm looking at ADA right now because it's extremely affordable, and they really are the 3.0, especially with, I know a lot of you guys might get upset at this, but with Ethereum basically losing a lot of consumer confidence with the capitulation that's going on due to the ICOs just getting rid of their Ethereum, selling, just trying to keep their the money they have for their project, Ethereum's really going to lose a lot of confidence. And what I think, especially with the scalability problems, you're going to have these 3.0s and possibly even potentially 4.0 type projects really try to jump in right about now. And ADA is doing that. If you look at what Charles Hoskinson is doing, he's trying to improve two things: interoperability of the project, basically, having it work with his project work with many other types of projects and making it easy for them to do that. And he's also coming out and really making an effort to be present. He's been doing a lot more interviews, and he's been making his own videos, and I feel like he really is trying to come out right now, especially with Ethereum. I mean, in his last video, which was actually just like 15 hours ago, you can look it up on YouTube, he even talks about Ethereum and how he's trying to build upon, leverage that, what Ethereum has done. And I have a lot of respect for Ethereum, guys. Just I'm always looking for the future. I'm looking at what's going to make me money, and I'm not saying Ethereum's not going to make you money. I think it's going to go back up, but what type of gains are you truly going to get from it? I personally don't think it's going to be extreme gains. Maybe a 5 times, maybe a cap of a 10 times in the relative future, but potentially I'm looking at things that are at least going to give me a 10 times, and hopefully more, like a 20 times or more. And then of course I'm looking for the unicorns, because I'm the unicorn hunter. And right now I don't have I was looking at Incash, guys. I know I'm sidetracking here, guys, but I was looking at Incash. One of the most concerning things that I've currently noticed with the reason I didn't put in a position during the IBC conference, which was it was good that I didn't, because I wouldn't have made anything, especially with how the market crashed, was that Tim Draper didn't show up. I mean, I could, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but Tim Draper didn't show up to the IBC conference, and he was one of the keynote speakers that was supposed to show up, and he didn't show up. From what I saw, what I searched, I looked into it, I couldn't find a reason why. And he's one of the main reasons I got into Incash, because I follow smart money, and that's one of the tools I use, guys. I look, I try to find out, who's buying into these projects, who's the angel investors, the visionaries that can see the future of where these startups are going to go. And Tim Draper's a mastermind, and he hasn't really shown that he's a part of this project, but the claims are that he is. So especially with him supposed to speak at the IBC conference there with Incash and things like that, he wasn't there. So I do find that concerning. I still find Incash to be a very, very strong project, because they've met their goals. They've continued over the last couple of years to really hit things out of the park and develop their tech. But that's definitely something concerning me. So I'm still looking at Incash, but I'm a little skeptical at this point. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna try to find you guys some unicorns, 50 times, 100 times gains type things that will hopefully come out during the bull market. But in the meantime, I'm looking at ADA, and I'll give you some more in a second here. But ADA, because of Charles Hoskinson and what they're trying to leverage, what's already been built on the Ethereum blockchain, and basically being the 3.0. And I really think ADA is going to do well. So that's my opinion on ADA. Also, I'm looking at VeChain, because if you have a good amount of money to put into VeChain, you can make nice amount of passive income, especially when the market's up. And VeChain has just, I mean, people have just dropped out of VeChain. The bottom has fallen out of VeChain at this moment. So I mean, look, guys, I'm not trying to get in any of these just now, because if Bitcoin does drop and it goes down to that 4K level, everything else is going to follow it, and probably a lot heavier. So there's no way that I'm personally, I'm not taking advantage of these lows just yet. Not yet, but these are things that I'm looking at, So yeah, VeChain, it's a solid project. I mean, there really is, they don't really have anything that I could speak negatively about. Sonny Lou's, he's amazing. The project's amazing. It's going. I think it's the blockchain that is going to have it has probably in my opinion, the best. Getting a little trying to think of the word. Basically, they have the best people following them. Partners, they have really great partnerships, so they're super strong. I feel like they're going to shoot up whenever things when the altcoins start rising and everything. They're a really strong project. I'm also looking at XLM. They're super strong. They have Jed that's developed them, still working with them, and of course, if Jed McCaleb, he's really a strong person to follow. He developed a lot of great things, and he at least started them. So those are some of the 3 strong coins I'm looking at right now. That as soon as things become stable, I will probably put a position for a long with them, because that's what I'm looking for. Because when the market bottoms, you're going to look for some longs to put in for 6 months to a year down the road, potentially 3 years down the road, because you're buying them at the bottom, at the low. So those are the safe ones that I'm currently looking at, that I really think that no matter what, those are gonna get you a 10 times at least, hopefully more. But I'll get back to you guys on a unicorn. I'm gonna try to find some unicorns in this bloody mess of a market that we're in. But yeah, guys, I mean, if you have even $100 right now, that's going to get you double what you could have got 2 months ago. So that's my way of thinking right now. Even if you're just working with what the average person has, just a couple $100 here and there, $25 here or there, that's getting you double what you could get. And that $25, $100, $1,000, 10 grand, whatever it is that you're throwing in on these projects at these levels, I'm not saying jump in now. I'm definitely not saying that, because I really need to make sure that my theory is correct, that we're not going to see a 4K Bitcoin at this point, as we're just bouncing on this 6K level. But if this is the bottom, your $25, your $100, your $1,000, your 10K is going to be 10 times that, if you get in the right project. Easy 10 times. From here to bull market, it's an easy 10K if you put it in, or 10 times. Not a financial advice, guys, not financial advice, but I know this video is extremely long, but I feel like even within my inner circle, there's people are just really disheartened, and I just want to put out that this isn't as bad as it looks. As soon as the market recovers, you'll at least recover what you've lost, and probably at least 10 times, if you're in the right projects. So I have to say that I really can't talk too much about my inner circle. The reason why, guys, is because I work with Wells, and these guys have a certain mentality that what they do is supposed to be secret. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't believe that it should be secret. So I'm trying to do my best to give you guys what I know, but at the same time not step on their toes. So I also work with a lot of small fries, I guess you could say, within the internet inner circle, and they would be the ones that are probably the most concerned, the ones I'm speaking to, in this video, because they're not market makers, but because the market makers, as well, they don't care, they're making money, in the red and in the green, guys. So, anyways, before I say too much and step on some toes, I'll go ahead and leave you guys with that. I'm still thinking that the 6K area is bottom, but we'll see. Have a good one, guys. Like and subscribe for more.